Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I would like today to introduce to you how to pass data including drop-down lists from rather pages to partial modal views using tag helper. In this demo, I would like first to start by the end of a project so that to see if that satisfies your needs or not. If it satisfies, we can go further. If not, then okay. Here I show in the project a table of orders for a certain customer using Northwind database, and I can add a record from the button new order and pass data from the model form to the rather page index that is seen here, or vice versa from index rather page to the model form, including drop-down lists. As you can see here, new order, if I press, it will show the model form that contains a drop-down list. Here I will enter some data. There is a calendar but not seen because of the history. If I leave a required field empty, and press save, as it is here, the asterisk is seen as it must be entered. It's forbidden. If I press save, it will say there is an error and will highlight the error, and I wish to make this for you so as to see mainly that the selected value remains the same and wasn't changed, so that I can re-enter data in the correct form, then press save and add my record. I didn't wish to name this project as adding or editing or something like that, because the main focus here is to pass the data from a rather page to the view. Press save, it will add my record here. Saved, and record is added. First, the project contains the simple rather project from the Visual Studio, and I edited in some of the files. If we see the Solution Explorer here, will be seen layout, which contains the scripts I use. That is jquery mainly, jquery.min, database datatables.min, and bootstraps. I don't think we need bootstrap for that picker in the layout or index. Also, there's there's CSS in the above. And site for JavaScript here, .css and .javascript. And CSS can be left empty. Okay, that is for the layout. I also included the index, which is the rather page I have, and add new order. What is also being used is some scripts for validation, scripts partial, and importing some tag helpers that are shown in view imports as asp.netcore.mvc.tag helpers. And you said for validation scripts partial, which is jquery validate and jquery.validate.unobtrusive.js. These are the files I included in my project. When adding the record model form and pressing submit in the normal way, for validation the model will not be preserved, it will be lost. So I was obliged to put the site.js, which is JavaScript, to preserve my model form. The site.javascript is referenced from layout. Okay, let us see the index.cshtml, which is the main page that handles the table of orders and have a bottoms ajax. Here it is ajax model that I can, so that I can reference the site with it. Index page is a rather page that contains reference to the model placeholder, which is the model pop-up form, and the button using ajax, which references also to the page when pressed, index, and sp handler, page handler, sorry, is add new order, and page is index, with customer code in view data that was passed on beginning of a project from the get method, get handler, sorry, in the page index, where I put Cascade equal ID, a constant I post, so that to display the orders of that customer, or customer ID equal ID find first, dot company name, this is the label, and customer code is the code passed to the index view. As you can see, this is on get of the index rather page that will display the index view that contains the button that which on pressed will go to the model form. Let us press the model. Let us press on the key, sorry, and see what happens. If I press on new order, it will go to the script site.js. This script, ajax script, it will get URL. Get URL, that means it will go to the URL referenced by the bottom in index page, which is add new order of page index. So here it will go to on get add new order. I here referenced view the model customer order model in this page, which is DB context of Northwind database that was also used in displaying the fields of the table orders before. Sorry, I forgot to say that before. So on continuing the debugging, let's see what happens. DB data is a list of db.employees. Then I made an instance of employee view model. Employee view model, this is the main part of a project, and this is the model I would like to focus on, because it is the way we pass data from and to rather page and view. To see employee view model, By the way, the project is linked at the end of the video. You can download it, and there are links for the used things I faced, like Razor pages and PartialViews and the scaffolding for the database. For any of you who wish to take a deep side on these issues. Here is the employee view model. It contains list of orders, and employee list of employees, and there are some, I think, not needed, maybe employees also. Empnum is an enumerable of selected item. This will be passed to the view and used in the combo list. Order ID, I think it is in the post, in edit. Message, it is the error message to be displayed. And header here, it is, I mean by it, the customer ID. Let us see how we fill this view model in the get here. I put empnum of view model equal get selected items of GB data. If you press F5 here so as to see the values. Empnum is count of 9 after get selected list items. It is considered as a function to return selected list items of employees, value and text. We can of course pass a certain customer for this employees or something like that. Here I get the displayed list of employees and put customer ID in header and the message of error. Then I made a list, made view dictionary, instance of a view dictionary, new view dictionary, and related it to my model, which is VM. This is the instance of new view dictionary, and put model equal VM to link it with the view model. Then passed the partial view result, which has view name, add new order, and view data, my view data that already I linked to the model that contains empnum as a list and header as customer ID. Let us see how it will go to the partial view and display the values in the model. What I would like to focus here also is on the combo box or the drop down list. I used tag helper ASP4 for order.employee ID and input as an input for ASP4 order.employee ID and ASP items model.empnum, which returns selected items. Default is choose person. This is the first item in the drop down list. Also, I would like to highlight that name is valid in this input I am on. Refers if a model is valid or not. If it is valid, because I will check on it in the site.js. Also, there is a date picker bootstrap found in the site.js to be filled. The button here on submit will go a data save equal model, because I will refer to it in the site.js. And pressing F5, model form will be displayed. What if I choose, for example, Robert, and any date here, and left of order date, shipment, and country. Then press on save. On the asterisk, before on the asterisk, the class of orders, which is found in the employee view model, has some required fields put in the model of orders. I don't see, here it is. I would like you to see it. As some fields are required using the data annotation are required, and the error message if it is not filled in the form. That is in orders and employees, and of course these are collected all in employee view model, orders by ord, employees emp, and enumerable emp num. Let us return to the view, add new model, which here, as you see, I used employee view model to display the fields, the different fields from different tables or classes coming from this view model. Okay, I used ord.employee.id because the view model contains ord, and so consequently so for all the other fields. Pressing F5, I pressed on submit before. It went to site.js, as we saw, which has the item that prevent defaults. Sorry, I didn't explain that before. Prevent defaults. That made me, after that, go to the post action URL and data to send, which is coming from the form, and action URL that comes from the add new order also form, found here in form method post, sp page, page handler, and route. This made me go to the post of add new order to have an instance of employee view model that gets the fields of a form binded in order. If we see here, these fields are binded in order of type orders, and we can put the values coming from the view into our view, orders in the view mode. Okay, but here the model state dot is valid is not true. So what is expected is that it will not go to it. Sorry, I don't want to use F10 because of the debugging. The video will be ended. I am obliged to press F5 to see where it will go again, but there is no here, there is no debugging point. However, model state is not valid. It will not enter in this script, which is valid. It will go to else and initialize variable ODB data to be employees.list and put customer ID with the value got from the form. And what is important is the coming part, because I want to retain the value of the selected employee once there is an error. So to do this, I asked about employee ID in order table in order that refers to orders class in the employee view model. If it is greater than 0, that means it's selected. I put employee ID the value and put emp num list of DB data which is employee list. It would go to the get selected list, then the select the value dot equals order dot employee ID. Then else if it is less than 0, I haven't selected, it will return all the drop down lists on index -1. But if it is selected as the previous, I will have the index selected as from order data.emp_num.select. Then we go to the partial view to display it with the view data dictionary or data. Okay. Or here it is, I think it is a model. Here, or data here, it is a model. It is instance of employee model. And so it will give me that there is an error and will highlight it by order date must be entered. If I press an order date and then save, we'll go to the script. We can see the script here in more details. That contains posts. And if valid, the text I put in add new model here, it checks on it. If is valid, it will display my model form. If not, as we have seen, error occurs and message for error was displayed. Alert. Let us see F5. It went to the after prevent the defaults. It made on post here $.post action URL with data to send, and went to add new order, posting it in index.html.cs. Here the model is okay, is true. It will return it true. Then it will enter this script. It will assign each. It will assign each field in the view in the order class for a value, and then it will add the record for org data.org and save change. Here it is valid. Saved. And as we see here from site, if it is valid, placeholder element.modal.find.modal.show, and then saved, and then it will reload the window.parent.location.reload. So here it reloads, went to onGet of the index page model to reload it with a new record. Hope the video has satisfied your needs of passing the data from Razor page to view model and vice versa, because for here partial views doesn't use the normal or traditional way of view data. It should be passed by certain techniques. This is one of them, through the view model. Hope the video seeks your your like, and if you subscribe, it would be really good for me. And by the end of the video there is a link to download the project, and also there is links for the used issues in that project. And see you again in another videos. Thank you.